Hello and welcome back to Walk Wild. Matt here, bringing you the second part of the Yorkshire Three Peaks training sessions. So in this training session, I'm focusing a lot more on stretching and flexibility and yoga to get me in shape before going on the hike. Last week you saw I climbed up loads of steps and stairs, mainly trying to build muscle, but this is a completely different week now. I'm in the run up to the actual challenge and I want to make sure I'm in tip-top condition without having any muscle fatigue. So you can see I'm just following along to a yoga tutorial here, which is Yoga with Adrian on YouTube. Lots of people use this and I'm no exception. I'm not a yoga guru, so I don't know the names of all these kinds of movements, but in the build up to the hike, in the days counting down, I used a lot of her tutorials and I found them really helpful, as I have done in the past. Mainly I'm focusing on my legs, my hips and my core. I wasn't doing too much work on my shoulders and my upper body, mainly because I was going to be carrying a small backpack on the Three Peaks. I didn't need to worry so much about building shoulder strength or kind of working on my upper arms. It was all just legs, core, and a bit of neck actually. That's mainly because you can get hiker's neck. For anyone who isn't familiar, that's when you get this sort of strained feeling going from the top of your neck kind of down into your shoulders. It is very, very uncomfortable. I then spent some time doing my kit, and this is something I've always done. I like to start preparing my equipment a day or two before I leave. So here you'll see me just packing everything up. I always check things and check them again because it's easy to forget stuff, and I like to just make sure I have everything laid out before I set off, so then it's not in my mind and I don't have to worry about it. So here I'm just packing up last bits of equipment, sun cream, microphone, camera stuff, and now I'm going down and doing all my camping gear, which actually wasn't necessarily for the hike. This is just for, I was staying at a campsite at the bottom of Three Peaks, but I still wanted to have all the equipment ready and all my cooking stuff, which is what you can see me sorting out here. And then I just pack it all into my bag and make sure it's ready, so when I need to go I can just walk straight out the door and it's nice and easy. After doing all that, I spent a bit of time doing some research. So I checked the weather, and the weather was looking mixed. It was looking like rain, it was looking like cloud, it was looking like sun. So I packed for a bit of everything. Then I checked the drive and sought to have a see what the drive was going to be like. And then I started looking for some campsites to see where I was actually going to stay. I called up a campsite called Home Farm, and they were right at the bottom of the Three Peaks, so it was perfect. And they had space for me to stay for 2 nights. I then went on all trails and started looking at the actual route, which gave me a really good idea of what it was going to be like, the terrain, and where I was going to be walking. After that, I went through my final stretching session. This was the night before I was going. Here I was mainly working on my core actually. I was feeling good in my legs, feeling good everywhere else in my hip, and I just thought I'd do a bit of a core exercise before I leave, and then just some last bits on the hamstrings because they get really tight. But other than that, I was all ready to go, and so I set off the Thursday morning. Hi everyone, it is Thursday morning and I'm just doing my final checks for the Yorkshire Three Peaks. Basically just checking all my bags, making sure I've got everything, and as you can see there, this is all stuff I'm bringing. Got my big hiking backpack, which is for my camping stuff, and then just my smaller day pack, which is what I'll actually be taking with me. And yeah, just making sure I've got all the things I need and I've not left anything out, because believe it or not, that's happened to me before. I've been planning a hike, and then I actually got to the point of being ready to leave, and I headed up to the Hadrian's Wall actually, and realised when I got there that I'd left behind like a jacket, so it can happen. So I'm checking all my stuff, making sure I've got food for the journey, and hopefully in 5 hours time I'll be in the Yorkshire Dales. So I've arrived in the Yorkshire Dales. 5 hours drive, wasn't too bad actually. And I'm now, well, I've set up camp, Home Farm campsites where I'm staying, pitched my tent, got all my stuff ready. And I'm sort of just going for a little amble around to, well, I'm walking in the direction of Pen-y-ghent, which is the first peak. I've got a summit tomorrow. So it's quite nice because the campsite I'm staying in is on the western slope, looking up to Pen-y-ghent. And I'm getting kind of excited, just sort of stretching my legs out a bit, walking towards the summit to take a look, but I'll turn back in a bit to make some food. I also walked past the Pen-y-ghent cafe, which is quite famous because lots of people use that as a clocking in and out spot for the Three Peaks. So you let them know when you're starting, and then when you finish, you go back there and register your time. But it looks closed, unfortunately. I don't know if that's due to COVID, which is a bit of a shame because they do pints of tea, which I would have quite enjoyed after finishing my challenge, but there we go. And I've also just seen some signposts for the Pennine Way, which is another National Trails long distance walking path that I haven't done, but I'd be really interested in doing. And yeah, I mean, it's so beautiful around here, loads of sheep everywhere, rolling hills, stone walls, it's classic Yorkshire. So after a bit of a leg stretch, I'm gonna head back and get ready for tomorrow. So this will be the last message. My training is officially over and the hike begins tomorrow. So wish me luck.